Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Micro Investor, where we do tech analysis, price predictions, and news updates. Today, we're going to be talking about Apple stock. Is Apple stock worth buying? Big question there. So we have Apple stock that is down here a bit here in 2022. The thing is that we were seeing Apple just really start the year out absolutely amazing. And then, of course, there's been this volatility within Apple stock. Stock's been all over the place. And right now we have Apple stock currently priced at around the price of $140 at this moment. So is Apple stock worth investing into? Let's go through the financials. Let's go through everything that's kind of going on with Apple at this moment. So if you don't mind, real quick, also, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or gently press that like button to help me out with the algorithm, help spread the content to more people that might find it interesting, and subscribe if you have not already. Let's dive into this. So with Apple stock currently at $140, looking over here at CNN Money, the stock price forecast out of 38 different analysts offering a 12-month price forecast for Apple. They have a median target of $176.50 with a high estimate of $200 and a low estimate of $122. So let's look over at Apple's financials. Let's look at the most recent quarter that had ended on September 24th, 2022. And these numbers, by the way, are in the millions. So for their net sales for products, it was $71 billion. And for services, just a little bit above $19 billion. So their total net sales were just above $90 billion. And this was up from the same quarter of the previous year where they had reported net sales of just above $83 billion. So when we look over at things as far as their expenses and such, and where it really matters is their net income. So their net income for Apple, it had equaled for that quarter about $20.7 billion, and that was up from the same quarter of the previous year of about $20.5 billion. So nice to see that even with 2022 being a year that has a lot of people scared, a lot of people tightening their expenses, Apple still is making more revenue. Now we look over at Apple's balance sheet. For total current assets, they were up slightly for the most recent quarter in comparison to the same quarter of the previous year. But one thing was really different, and that was the cash and cash equivalents, which was a lot less in comparison to where it was of the same quarter of the previous year. Now, of course, Apple is holding more than $23.6 billion in cash. So obviously that's a lot of money in cash, and they can buy up many different publicly traded companies and pay for them in full. But at the same time, it's just much different than where it was the same quarter of the previous year. Where things, though, kind of balance out here is that the vendor non-trade receivables was up for the most recent quarter in comparison to the same quarter of the previous year. Now, as far as other things with Apple, their total assets equal out to about $352.7 billion. And when we look at that and compare it to their liabilities, their total liabilities equal out to about $302 billion. And a good majority of that is all in debt, where their term debt is equaled out to about $99 billion. But of course, we're talking about Apple here. We're talking about a very large corporation, actually the largest corporation by market cap. Apple's market cap is $2.24 trillion. Their PE ratio for trailing 12 months is 23.07. Their earnings per share for trailing 12 months is 6.11. And as far as other things, they are a dividend stock, but they don't pay out much of a dividend. They pay out about 92 cents a year. And that's not too significant at all. But if you're someone that does like dividends, you're just taking a little bit off the top of the stock, equals out to about 23 cents every single quarter. So now that we've done our homework here, we have a general idea of the financials for Apple. We also have a general idea of the different analyst opinions for Apple. Now, when we do our own analyst here, or when I do my own analyst, I give my own opinion here of Apple stock, looking at it at the price of around $141, looking at the different dates that Apple was also within this price range. So we were within this price range in November, October, September. We were in this in June of this year, May. And then we were also within this in October of 2021. We were within this price range back in January of 2021. And we're also very close to this price range back in September of 2020. So with these details and the fact that Apple stock's 52-week high was $182.94, and the fact that now it's down a decent amount from there. And not only that, we have these different dates that we can look at here where Apple stock was this same price. We know that their net income is going up. We know the revenues are going up. We know these details. We know what is to come. We know that we have Apple that is just going to be a company that's going to continue to dominate. Then with those details, to be personally, then Apple stock is a buy. That's just my own opinion, though. But I look at Apple as being a stock right now that is buying it at a bargain for that reason. And plus, I also do take the advice of these different analysts, what their opinions are, and I take that into consideration. Where we have the median price at $178 that it was at, then that tells me something about where they're at with it. And it just makes it a bit more interesting when we have these different opinions from these different analysts. $178, what they're thinking as a median price. So seeing how the median price there from the analyst is a pretty decent amount more than where the price of Apple is right now. But also, not only that, the fact is that the median price is still lower than the 52-week high for Apple. I think that's a plus to think about. So that's a big plus right there. And a plus when we look at the different dates that we've had with that Apple stock at this same price, and we've had the same price that had led us pretty much all the way into 2020 at a point. So this pullback that we're having here, maybe a lot of things might already be priced in, say like recession fears, other fears about what's going on over in China. The impact of all these different things could already be priced into the stock price of Apple. So due to that, I would say, in my personal opinion, that Apple stock right now could be a bargain. And that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Apple stock right now as a bargain. Now we have our next earnings that will be coming out for Apple that we could be looking forward to, and this will be at the end of January, and that would be for the quarter of that had ended obviously in December. So we have that to look forward to. We'll get an understanding of all the holiday sales and things like that. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about this. What do you guys think about Apple stock? Do you guys think it's a bargain right now? Do you think that this is a good time to buy? I would like to know, but do take in consideration that none of this is financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion. But if you like content like this, if you're interested in hearing my opinion and throwing out your own opinion, please do so in the comment section. Please consider subscribing. And of course, a like does go a long way. My name is Jason. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.